Drive to our left, about 500 yards or so down. I made the distance longer this time, about 500 yards down the way. That is where the Parade of Champions. Is this the Canyon of Heroes? That's what they call it in New York when it goes down Wall Street.
I like that.
So we're in the Canyon of Heroes for
in the City of Champions.
There you go.
Right.
John Cohen joins us now, athletics director at Mississippi State. First of all, thanks for doing this. I know there's a lot going on today. Really appreciate you coming by.
Hey, it's my pleasure, guys.
Always good to see you. And your police protection is here. He arrived before you did and said, John Cohen's supposed to be coming by, and I got to make sure that he gets to the start of the parade route. So.
You know what? I think one of our trustee assistants, McCrae, thought that the streets were going to be shut down and that we were not going to be able to actually drive on the street.
Me personally, knowing what I know of John Cohen, would love to see somebody try to fight him because that would be a really quick exhibition of futility on their part.
Maybe at one point in my life, but not at this advanced stage.
Yeah.
Wait, how long has it been since you were in the dugout?
4.5 years.
All right, so 4.5 years ago, perhaps the guy that you're talking about. Wow, what a week, what a 3-week run, what a month it's been. Have you taken that moment yet to kind of sit quietly and just kind of reflect and think and try and soak it all in?
You know, I haven't had that moment yet, but, we're just talking off the air. When you get text from your former teachers and you get text from 25 years of coaching, it starts putting a lot in perspective, and you can get emotional quickly. When you see Ron Polk light up his victory cigar on Wednesday night, that was an emotional time for me. But I guess just being on social media a little bit and seeing people's reactions all over the country who are Mississippi State people and see them get into a fetal position and tear up, I mean,
Did you get into a fetal position?
I was in the car, no. I was driving.
It's just amazing. I mean, it's an undescribable. I think John Thompson said it's a delicious feeling, and I think that's the best way to describe it.
You know, one of the things that we talked about yesterday, and it felt like connected with a lot of people, was the tie of through the years. Hey, Dad talked about his dad a little bit and not being here to see it. And so you have people who shared this experience, whether it was at home or listening to the radio or in Omaha, with parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, moms, dads. And then you had people who used to share that experience but have a part of their family that maybe is not there anymore, and the immediate reaction and the immediate thought was, I wish Dad could have seen this. I wish Granddad could have seen this. It would have meant so much.
Yeah, and, it's something that's handed down from generation to generation. Mom, Dad, down to their kids, the love of Mississippi State baseball, the love of Mississippi State athletics. And to have something this powerful happen affects us all. And, hey, my father's been gone for more than 10 years. I would have given anything for him to be able to see this because he knew how close we were, both as a player, as a coach, and now as an athletic director. When you get that close that many times, and you finally knock that door down, it's a special feeling.
I've said this a few times on podcasts and on radio, and I was always surprised you took the athletic director job because I knew how close the program was to winning a national championship. Now that that's come and gone, and now you're the athletic director, does the level of satisfaction of winning as an athletic director, is it different from the level of satisfaction of winning as a coach?
Well, listen, obviously I'm not coaching, but the minute I became an athletic director here at Mississippi State, I knew, at least I felt like I could still help this baseball program. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to help all our basketball programs, our track program, all of our sports. I wanted to help. So in that way, even though you're not coaching, you can still be that support mechanism to help your sports. And in that way, I feel really involved. In fact, I feel a level of fulfillment because, in baseball in the fall, you're working your tail off to get your team ready for the spring. But you're a little bit disconnected because you're in your own cocoon. You're recruiting. You're working on the facility, all those things. As the athletic director, you're always in the middle of teams that are competing for something meaningful at that moment. And that's been so fulfilling for me.
You're going to be mad at me for this. In a good way, I think. I joke with you, I love to spend your money. I just saw another notification about National Coach of the Year pop up. You got a guy that you hired. You went out and found him, you brought him in, and he's just done an unbelievable job.
He has. And listen, a lot of people, when they're meeting their future team getting off the bus from Omaha, might say, oh, my goodness, and try and find deficiencies in that group to try and say we got a long way to go. Chris embraced it and said, hey, we got good players. We're going to go get more good players. We're going to have good people. We're going to behave like Mississippi State baseball players should behave, and we're going to do it in the classroom. In fact, his team has had a 3.0 cumulative grade point average 4 semesters in a row. And we're going to accelerate this thing. We're going to make it better. We're going to leave it better than we found it. And we're absolutely committed to Chris Lemonis and his staff to have a long-term relationship. And I think we're going to get there pretty soon.
How does that conversation work? Is that something where you proactively go, hey, let's just sit down and talk and figure it out going forward? Or do you have to wait for him to come to you?
Yeah, we actually did that well before the championship game. We had a conversation about his future at Mississippi State. And again, there's a commitment level on our part. We have seen what he's done. We're going to recognize that. And, I really believe that it's important to recognize the people who are really advancing their programs in such a positive way. So, again, we're absolutely committed to that with Chris Lemonis and his family.
What's this going to be like today? I mean, it's a national championship parade, and then you've got a national championship celebration inside this palace that's only a few years old.
I think it's going to be exciting. You're always worried about the weather, and I think,
saw what you had on your phone a second ago.
Yeah, we're worried about the weather, and you want folks to be safe. And our kids aren't on campus right now. Our students aren't on campus right now. You wonder if they'd be willing to come back to campus for something of this nature. You'd love for them to. You wonder how hot it's going to be. When you're an athletic director or you're an administrator of any kind, you're always worrying about those exterior things that are really important to having a good crowd. But I will never doubt for a moment that our people aren't going to come and support. And listen, some of those people just drove 883 miles to get back here quickly for this, and they're there to be, appreciated also.
Most important question, we've been wondering this all day. What are y'all riding in on? Do y'all have floats? What's going on here?
I honestly do not know.
Oh, for sure.
I think you're on a fire truck.
On a fire truck, yeah. That'd be great. That's that's your 5-year-old dream right there, right?
No doubt.
Yeah, so I get to live that one out, be on a fire truck.
Do you want to hang off the back or be in the bucket, or do you want to ask to drive?
Man, I want one of those hats. I want the helmet.
I'm sure
you got to ask for the fireman's helmet then. Do you have any gauge of how many people are going to show up?
I don't. I really don't.
We were talking about that earlier. Hey, Dad showed me a picture. I mean, the stadium's, I don't know, a third of the way full.
It looks like a good SEC game right now in the grandstand.
Yeah, we're still a couple hours away. Right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, my father-in-law, who is a Mississippi State grad, asked me this morning, he's like, how many people are going to be there? I was like, I've got no idea. And he said, well, my sister that lives in St. Francisville, Louisiana, and her husband are driving up. I said, are you serious? And he said, yeah, absolutely. I just wonder how many of those stories are out there.
There's a ton. And David Strickland, right? Scott Strickland's brother, who's a huge Mississippi State fan.
Is he just going to land an airplane here to get?
He's a Delta pilot, and I remember him telling me that he has watched Mississippi State games in the cockpit of an airplane in Europe. Not while he's flying, of course.
Sure.
But he's watching in Europe. We have people all over the world who are watching our Mississippi State events, and these kinds of things just kind of bring it all together.
How many text messages did you get?
I didn't count them all, but I will tell you, it usually in a high traffic time, it'll take me a day. I'm getting close to day 3, and I can't.
I got one same night. I was impressed.
Yeah, I can't keep up right now, but that's a good problem to have.
All right, what's next?
What's next is we got a little air raid happening in the fall.
Yeah.
We got some volleyball happening in the fall. We got a very good soccer team returning. They're the great recruiting class. And the whole thing starts all over again. And all those kids, a lot of our kids are going to be in summer school. They're able to work out. They're able to lift. They're able to work with coaches. It's just an exciting time. And,
it's going to feel like it's supposed to feel again in August.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Getting people back in the stands, and yes, that's going to be so exciting to me, guys, just because, what we went through for an entire year. And by the way, I just want to compliment our president, Dr. Kiem. He has done an amazing job. 7,000 faculty and staff and 23,000 students, keeping that all together in one of the most difficult times in American history. He is a tremendous leader and just so pleased with what we've been able to do there.
All while overseeing the expansion of the college football playoff, no less.
Yes. On the CFP Board of Managers, Mark Keenum, yeah, absolutely.
You know, the hot topic today, so I'm going to ask you this. We got like a minute left. If John Cohen, the student athlete, was still around, what would he be endorsing this week?
I don't know if anybody'd want me to endorse anything. I'd probably be on social media trying to sell myself, to the world. But, what a great opportunity for our student athletes. Listen, there are positives, there are negatives, but the positive is our kids get to be creative. They get to go out and learn some things, hopefully, about the business world, and they get to hopefully make a couple of dollars for themselves. I think it's an incredibly positive thing, but like anything else, there needs to be some form of regulation because these things can get out of control in a hurry.
If I'm a baseball player, I'm saying, you may not know this, I just won a national championship. Yeah. I'd like to help with your product. Yeah. John, thanks as always for your time, for stopping by. Great to see you.
Appreciate y'all.
And congratulations. John Cohen, Athletics Director at Mississippi State.